totally distracted. I got carried away. Let him speak. What do I know?
No.
I don't feel it that way. I'm quite detached.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite surprising.
No, but when I watch it, I feel more affected, and I feel that it is so. It's taking jobs away. That's one thing. But I can't be surrounded by people who hate growing old. I can't be surrounded by people constantly wanting to change their bodies.
When we started off, it was almost like a rush. I think there was everything available, and a lot of people initially, like at the very inception point, we saw a lot of content where people were abusing very freely because there was a lot of sex, there was unnecessary abusive languages used around. वैसा था शुरू में.
So the hardest part for me was to just know what to do. Like came to the city fine, but then what?
Hello everyone, welcome to News 18 Showsha. Today we have with us the two of the most incredibly talented actors, Vikrant and Radhika. Hi Vikrant, hi Radhika, how are you guys?
Good, thank you.
So how does it feel to be back on ground and physically promoting your films? What is it like?
Better than virtually promoting them for sure. Just nice, really nice to see people, meet everybody and meet each other.
Right. Vikrant?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been quite some time that all of us have just been communicating virtually.
Right.
And it's great to be back here to meet colleagues, to meet friends in person.
Right.
Yeah, really happy.
So now I feel like you both are like this lethal combination of the most talented actors in the Indian cinema. You guys are doing a movie together. Tell me, what was your first reaction when you when you guys were approached for the script and you guys got to know that you would be starring opposite each other?
Well, for me, before I read the script or saw the other film or anything, I even knew much about the producers or anybody. I knew that Vikrant's on board, and that was my primary reason to say yes to the film because we've been trying to figure out. I always wanted to work with him, and so that was my primary reason. So it was the other way around. Your question, basically, for me.
Right, Vikrant.
Yeah. I actually saw the original we've adapted from, and I felt very strongly that there is tremendous potential in this script to be adapted for the Hindi speaking audiences, and then I obviously knew that I met the producers and I spoke to them and they shared their minds with me. They told me that they're looking at Radhika. She was their first choice, and I was really excited. They were looking at Vishal Furia to direct it. He's someone I've worked with. So all in all, I think everything fell in the right place, and I felt pretty strongly also about the fact that unfortunately we really don't have enough screen representations for people who are in the field of forensic science.
Yes.
And so I felt this was a great opportunity for myself to know a little more about them, and also to sort of share their glory. The amount of hard work that they put in, the nature of their job, which unfortunately majority of people are not aware of. Bring it out to the audiences and share their lives with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Past 2 years have been really difficult for everyone, Radhika, Vikrant. Physically, emotionally, mentally, and forensic is a very unsettling script. It must have been very challenging to sort of shoot this kind of film. After what we have been through. In the past 2 years. So tell us about that experience.
It should be like that, but it wasn't like that for me.
Okay. Okay.
In the sense that I don't know. I guess when I watch things which are violent and quite gruesome, I get affected.
Okay.
But so far, at least with this film, I think I don't know. Even when I've done Ghoul or something, which is supposed to be disgustingly violent, disgustingly in a good way, it's supposed to be horrific, and you can't help but laugh. On the Ghoul set, I was just laughing all the time. You can't laugh, but I think you don't feel it I don't feel it that way. I'm quite detached.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite surprising.
No, but when I watch it, I feel more affected.
Okay.
Not this film, because you see all weird things as an actor. That's why you should not watch it and comment and say that this keep that and keep this, because you just like, for example, I had a big pimple. Remember at one point, all I saw when I saw the film was a pimple. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
actors are self-obsessed in that way when you watch yourself on screen.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to watch it, like you watch it 2-3 times at least to like be like, okay, now I can objectively look at it.
Right.
But totally distracted. I got carried away. Let him speak now. Where do I go?
No. Yeah, I think intermittently it did keep happening, because I'm sure you've seen the trailer.
Yes, I have.
And you must have seen that there are really young kids in the film
Yes,
who are
yes.
unfortunately going through really some really unpleasant experiences. So like intermittently, while I was shooting with the kids, or especially when those little kid actors had to pretend as dead bodies, and I was shooting with them. So वो एक spike होता है अंदर कभी ना कभी, कहीं ना कहीं. And yeah, so intermittently it did keep happening, but then as a forensic officer, I also had to, and Vishal was pretty, we did this together. Vishal was pretty sure about this thing that, as a forensic officer, they also tend to detach themselves emotionally from the crime that's taking place, because for them it's just their job.
Right.
They see it as their job. They, after a point in time, they do tend to see it very clinically. So to detach myself emotionally, and Vishal kind of spoke to me like a couple of times about this thing that, Vikrant nazar aa raha hai, I can see that you're getting affected, see it as Johnny, wo uska sirf kaam hai.
Right.
But then, yeah, you sort of, every day is not the same. There are days, obviously, there are different days, and then you learn new things, and then you move forward.
Right.
Yeah.
You're playing a cop, you're playing a forensic expert. Was there any sort of specific preparation that you guys, went for this project, or was it like you're on set and you're just going about it?
I did my fair bit of research is too heavy duty, or I don't know. I mean, preparation with actual forensic officers. Our producers had called upon a few forensic experts to guide us through the film. So to understand their nature of job, or the smallest of things, as to how do they hold a torch, as to what degree does the light. Like they hold it very normally, but for me it's a very new thing. So what degree do they actually shine the light on, an example, a thumbprint or a fingerprint? So how do they click pictures for evidences? What actually happens, goes behind the scenes. So these were little things which I was very lucky to share my time with Dr. Ranjit, who was our senior consultant on the film, and yeah.
Right. Radhika?
Actually, I didn't do much prep. I did do some work on the character, in the sense that who she is and why she is the way she is, and why the contradiction within her, in her personal life and her professional life, and certain flaws in her character, in a good way. I mean, like, otherwise, all of that, sort of tried to discuss that with our director, and when we met, it was really interesting, because then together we were trying to figure out that was all on the on location, and
Right.
so for me it wasn't much prep, but that for me was very exciting, to working with him and discussing things and how we could do it, and etc. But my part didn't require any research as such, though I did meet the forensic team, the experts who were on set, and I was fascinated with them, and between shots I used to go and sit with them and ask them lots of questions.
Right. Now, Radhika, Vikrant, you both have been part of, acclaimed and meaningful cinema. And, you have never played safe with your projects. Tell me how difficult or easy it is to sort of carve that kind of niche for yourself as an actor when you don't have any connection in the industry.
I think the most difficult thing I've always felt, in the beginning at least, definitely, was that, the beginning mostly, it's like you want to be a doctor, you go study, then you do this and do that. This profession is a tricky one because there is no one way of doing anything.
True.
And every single person's journey is different. You will never find two similar stories.
Yes.
Unless you're just born in a family. Then
Yeah.
you're lodged.
Yeah.
But otherwise, not two stories will be the same.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. Now, of course, we have casting directors.
Yes.
And that's like at that time there were barely any casting directors, and even to find them and to get to know them and get in their lists was quite difficult. So I think the hardest part for me was to just know what to do. Like came to the city fine, but then what? Like what do I do? Like I spent a lot of time, 3-4 months, just not knowing what to do. And then I got into theatre. I was already doing theatre. I went back to theatre, to Pune. I continued doing theatre, and then it happened one day. But anyway,
Right. Vikrant?
Yeah, it's a tricky profession. There are no set formulas or solutions here. But like from my experience, I can definitely share this thing that one really has to be persistent. I think you really have to believe in yourself, because you are bound to face rejection, which is very, very essential, I personally feel. And there are days when you're questioning yourself or your choices or life in general. But if the calling is strong enough, I think you really have to be persistent despite failure. You need to make that choice to get up again and see another day and be ready for another rejection probably. But that's how it is. You really have to keep hammering until you really probably found your way out.
Right. Coming back to the film, it is a Hindi remake of Tovino and Mamta's film, Forensic. Tell me, have you have seen the film? Radhika, have you seen the film?
yeah, I saw it a while ago.
Okay. Are you guys wary of comparisons, and what is the new thing that we will get to see in this one?
See, comparisons are bound to happen, especially also because of social media.
Yes. Yes.
That's bound to happen, and they are superstars in their own right.
Yeah.
And that's fair. But that would be really unfair, because that was never the intent. We never set out wanting to remake that film. We adapted that film, and we brought in our own perspective towards that story, which we all definitely love. That's the reason we adapted it.
Right.
But it's a fresh take. It's Vishal's take. It's our take, and collectively we've decided to sort of spin it off in our own way for our own target audiences.
Yes.
So yeah, comparisons are bound to happen, but you really can't do much about it, and I really don't think I would get affected once the film is out. And I know there will be comparisons because I never set out to do that. So as far as my intent and my intentions are clear, I am not really bothered about comparisons.
Right. Radhika?
Again, I think I agree with him completely, but I'm not worried about that. If they think I'm better or worse, mostly it doesn't matter in the sense I've done my job.
I think you will be. You are fabulous.
No, but in the sense I've done it already. Like,
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
sense, I
yeah.
hope it's different. I tried to stay true to whatever was given to me.
Right.
So that's all I can do.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I can't do anything. So.
Right. Radhika, you recently said that you were starting to feel depressed when you didn't get the roles that you were interested in because they went to somebody else, because they looked certain way. Radhika, do you feel that there's, celebrity, and especially female celebrity, have to feel this constant pressure to look certain way, to look beautiful, to cater to this conventional standard of beauty in this industry?
I just feel like, I did feel very let down. I think it's a stupid thing to be because it's quite naive of me. But it's basically, there are exceptions, definitely. There are some actresses who are fantastic.
Yes.
They truly embody body positivity or authenticity and age and everything. And there are.
Yes.
And they're phenomenal. But a lot of them don't. And we know that as audiences, as filmmakers, as directors, we know that, but we accept it. Nobody says anything about it. And I feel that it is so, it's taking jobs away, that's one thing, but I can't be surrounded by people who hate growing old, I can't be surrounded by people constantly wanting to change their bodies because it makes me wonder whether I should do that, and I will never do that. But I don't want to be with people who don't like themselves so much. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's such a demoralizing and negative energy, and I don't know. We're literally like blinders. Nobody speaks about it. All we talk about is body positivity. Let's accept age. Really? No. As actors, you're not doing what you're saying. As directors, you're casting that. As producers, you're actually wanting that. And as an audience, you don't care.
Right.
You know, so I'm just a bit like, come on, guys. Why is nobody really talking about it? And what the effect it has, like in America now, teenage girls really want nose job as their birthday gift, and then I wouldn't be surprised if that's happening here. Already, people are so insecure. Teenage girls, like, you know, you hear your cousins and their friends and all of that. My God, they are like tiny, and the other day I met somebody in the family, like a cousin. My God, she's like 12 or something, yeah, and wondering what she should eat and what not because she wants to. I was like, oh my God, can you imagine? So, you know, all of that just gets to me, and yeah.
Just the last question, you know, you both have done so much work on OTT. How has it evolved from the time when you guys started, you know, working in this medium? What do you think?
When I started off, there were hardly streaming platforms. I think Netflix was the only one that was there, and people were making independent things on YouTube. When we started off, it was almost like a rush. I think there was everything available, and a lot of people initially, like at the very inception point, we saw a lot of content where people were abusing very freely because you know, there was a lot of sex, there was unnecessary abusive languages used around. वो वैसा था शुरू में, but now I think with these giants like, you know, Zee and Amazon and all these guys coming in, you know, they're literally conglomerates that have come into this business, and you know, a lot of things have found a certain way or shape. I don't blame those guys because a lot of people did not know what to do with so much of freedom available, and we did go overboard. But now I think there is a form and structure, and there is far more professionalism today.
Right.
And with regards to me and my work, I think I'm really grateful that I'm still getting an opportunity to work to begin with. Very seldom do you come across someone who's been acting for nearly 18 years. And I'm just 35, and people are still supporting me in my endeavors and my aspirations, and I'm really, really grateful. But yeah, I think OTT has really changed a lot of things for me in a very positive way. I'm really grateful because as far as I get to tell my story, whatever the medium, as far as I get to communicate with my audiences irrespective of the medium, I think I'm happy.
Radhika?
I think I agree with him. But I think that OTT brought a lot of great things with it. Really, a lot of great things. Where it's headed, we'll see. In the sense, you know, is it going to be another way of television coming back? Or will there be... We'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
so
lot for
much.
speaking to us.
Lovely
It was
chatting.
lovely chatting. Thank you,
Thank
Radhika.
you. Thank you.